Hello, I'm Stefan from Extreme Group, and a very warm welcome to all of you for our 2 days partner interview with Alex from Medialooks. Alex, could you please introduce yourself and also the company Medialooks to our audience?
Yeah, sure. Hello, Stefan. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I am the product manager for video transport product from Medialooks, and this is the technology we would like to present to you today.
Thank you. So what is this technology video transport all about? Could you give us an idea?
The idea is pretty simple. First of all, it's the low latency solution to transfer the video feeds from one studio to another across the globe. We don't need any direct connection for that, just using the public internet. And another cool feature is to bring the remote guests like me for this show or anybody else for any other show. Just using the web browser or our proprietary Windows-based application, you are getting the high-quality video feed back to your studio, and it's simple to use, no configuration necessary, so just plug and play.
So as you have just mentioned it, so our 2 days interview is also based on this technology made by Medialooks. The product name is Video Transport, and we use it that very moment for this remote interview. I'm here in our studio in Munich, and you are in your office in Russia, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I am sitting in my kind of studio environment here in our office.
Brilliant. So what are the potential customers for this technology and this product, and are there real cases, actual users for it already?
Yeah, we got a lot of clients, more than 200 clients so far. And the actual usage of it is ranging from just interconnecting with studios to bringing the guests to the shows, especially in this kind of restrictions we had recently. It's kind of the magic trick to do the show still while being at home. It's not only for the guests but also for the hosts of the show. And another feature which was used by our clients is kind of remote collaboration. Then the producers or directors can watch the show over the shoulder of editors sitting at home and basically collaborating at the same video feeds, but still there is kind of no necessary to bring everyone together. You can work remotely with that.
So is the majority of your customers using more the dynamically created interconnections, or is it more the kind of static connections from a studio location to a control room?
Actually, there are both, but recently most of our clients relying on us to make this kind of unpredicted shows. Then you have someone sitting somewhere and you just need to bring the signal into the studio or your MCR, and studio to studio connection is still one of the options, but recently it's more about some kind of unpredicted events happening.
I know that you have two variants of this technology. Could you please explain where are the differences in between the both?
The difference is that then you are just connecting from one studio to another. You are able to use our the most advanced technology of transferring the video using the SRT protocol and our old proprietary solutions on top of that, such as forward error correction, some kind of active recovery of errors, and of course the propagation of any network address translator or firewalls without any settings necessary at the IT department. Another one is specifically tailored to bringing the guests to the show. It's our web-based solution, which is based on WebRTC protocol, which allows you to just send the URL to your guest, and he can open it on any browser, on any device, so mobile phones, tablets, whatsoever, and they can just take part in your show. They are getting the feedback from the studio and can contribute to the show from their own webcam or whatever device they have.
Yeah, like today, we had the choice in between sending you the software and some IDs to type in, or alternatively just one link that you click on and then the web browser opens and you are connected. So super easy. What is the difference between your product and your offering to others on the market?
Actually, it's really hard to tell. Of course, we can't tell any bad on our competitors, but in general, we've been working on our solution for quite a few years already. And even now, then there is a lot of hype about the SRT protocol. Even in that field, we had like 5 years of experience of making our products before it even became a big hit today. So our solution just works, and it doesn't need. You don't really need any of the settings for the network. It just propagate all of those, and the most important thing is that it's just plug and play. As you noticed already, you can just send the URL and the guest is at your show. Nothing else necessary.
So stability, robustness, easiness, and fast deployed. Excellent.
Yeah, and one of the major features we are going to present today, actually, during the webinar, is the new feature for the mix minus. It will be automated mix minus creation for all your web guests.
So that means I can have more than just one guest, so more than just you, your colleagues probably as well, and then the server side will do the n-1 mix.
Yeah, right. You will be just creating one mix minus everything coming from the studio except any guests at all. And then all of the different guests will be mixed and sent to the representative guests. So he will get every guest and the studio and without himself.
Excellent. Is there any specific hardware that I need to have in place in my studio environment to run your software on?
The most expensive thing is basically the hardware which you need for the video encoding, and in this case we prefer GPU encoding on NVIDIA cards. But if you don't have access to any GPU card, then we can still use CPU for the encoding, but probably you will be limited to the number of simultaneous streams you can do.
And coming back to the topic earlier, what practical experience have you encountered while building systems for this type of remote productions? So what have been the special challenges and what are the solutions? So what does customers need to expect to happen?
Most of the issues that we kind of see is that network environment is kind of unpredictable. So when you are working at some new places, probably you might encounter some issues, but once you get them solved, everything works fine. So it's like with any product, the first time you run it at some specific place, you have some issues. After that, it's totally fine.
So that means mainly firewalling topics that can occur?
Yes, most of the time it's about some kind of firewalls at the corporate networks. In that case, we have some specific solutions to install on-prem edition of our software behind the corporate firewalls. So it's also an option that we can resolve with our support team.
Alex, what do you expect? What is the future for this technology? Where will this all go to?
We already seen that a lot of content is actually generated by the people just on the streets or in the crowd somewhere. So it's not only about the reporters who is going to make some kind of show. So we are expecting that a lot of people will be joining the live shows and the newscasts from across the globe, from the different places which you probably haven't expected, like if something happens, you don't always have the time to get your ENG crew on site, but you can just call to someone who is already there with their mobile phone, and you can just bring it live.
So you expect that more and more mobile journalism, mobile content contribution will take place?
Yeah, this is one part of it, and another part of it is that all those situations that we have recently showed to a lot of our clients that you don't really have to bring all the people together to do any type of show. You can keep half of the crew basically at home and just bring the monitoring feeds and some controls to them, and this actually reduce a lot of traveling costs for remote production type of thing, or just the collaboration between the people. They don't really have to travel anymore.
So that means not only the semi-professional, but as well as the professional production, the planned production in news, but probably also shows. Do you think about distributed shows to take place, things like that?
Yeah, it can be distributed shows or just a standard remote production scenario. Then you have a bunch of cameras at the stadium, and all the rest of the gear is just at your MCR, and you are doing all the mixing at your studio basically, and just your cameramen have to travel and some part of the equipment, and that's it.
I see. So there's lots of future for this technology and these products. Alex, have many, many thanks for joining us today for this interview session. I wish you all the very best, and I hope that lots of customers are finding your products. Please make contact with us or with Medialooks. There's lots of things to try out and to enter the new ways of production. Thank you so much, Alex, for today's interview.
Thanks a lot for asking us to join your show.
Hello, I am Alexander Maslov from Medialooks, and today I would like to present you the Medialooks video transport technology. Video transport technology is a low latency solution to deliver video feeds from studio to studio or from remote contributors to your studio or MCR. It also allows you to do remote editor review, multicam remote production, or make some kind of remote collaborations between the members of your team. Here is the main screen of two of our core applications, VT Publisher and VT Receiver. The first one allows you to select whatever source you have at your location, NDI or HDI. In my case, I have plenty of Decklink HDI cards, screen capture or virtual outputs from the software. And then you can just click publish and transmit the video feed from one location to another. It will automatically appear at VT receiver at the other end, and you will be able to select it and output as NDI, or if you have HDI cards, to HDI card, or as a virtual source which will mimic the webcam, and you can use it in any other application. All you have to do is to click on it and start output, and it will automatically available at your NDI network or as a HDI out. Everything is pretty straightforward. You don't have to mess up with any of the settings. Just click publish on one end and receive on the other end. Once you published the source, you can right click on it and open preview URL or just copy preview URL that allows you to send this link to anyone who can monitor any of your studio sources across the globe. Another feature is that you are able to also copy web guest URL. This allows you to send this link to remote contributors to get them participating at your live show. They will get the studio feed coming from you and send the camera back to the studio. There are some settings that can be set here, like the guest name, location, resolution, selecting the microphone, selecting the camera, setting the bitrate, encoder, audio bitrate, as well as mirroring, turning it on and off. At the studio side, you will just get it as a web source here that you can also output as a NDI or HDI to the output. You just have to click Start Output and it's on your network. One of the coolest features of a latest release is that at the Settings tab you can now enable the Mix Minus feature, which will allow you to automatically create the mix minuses for all the guests connected to the same web guest URL. You don't have to mess around with all the mix minus creation for different guests entering into your show. All you have to do is to provide the audio mix that will contain only the studio sound without any guests, and we will mix all the participating guests automatically and provide the mix minuses. There is one additional application for remote contribution scenario, which is called VT Guest, that allows you to send one feed to the studio and receive the studio feedback, and utilize our proprietary SRT implementation with all the best features for video transport. All you have to do to connect VT Guest to the studio is to right-click at the publisher and get access ID, and then send it to a VT Guest, who have to paste it into corresponding field at the VT Guest application. And this will allow him to get the access to the studio feed associated with the access ID and also send the feed back to the studio. All of the described features are also available via web-based control panel, where you can see all of your running publisher and receivers. Here I have my Medialooks studio, which I have just shown you, and also we have a Medialooks office, and I can send the stream from one location to another. I just selecting the already published source and then send it to Medialooks office and click stream. And it will automatically make an additional output from my studio location to the office. It takes some time to make the handshake, and after that the studio feed is established. Web-based control panel allows you to control all the locations at the same time. It allows you to publish any source available at the location, stream from one location to another, and everything is quite simple and user-friendly. Thanks for watching our quick introduction of Medialooks Video Transport. And please come back to our site and get the free demo license to try out our low latency video streaming solution.